Regret doesn't come all at once. It builds quietly. One unsent message, one missed call, one "I'll do it tomorrow." And before you know it, tomorrow is gone. For David, regret had lived with him for 20 years, like a shadow that followed him everywhere, even in sunlight. David and his younger brother Ethan had once been inseparable. Two boys who did everything together, fishing by the lake, building tree houses, dreaming of changing the world. But as they grew, so did their differences. David was ambitious, always chasing the next big thing. Ethan was patient, content with simple joys. One evening, a business deal went wrong. David blamed Ethan for backing out of a risky investment. Ethan blamed David for choosing money over trust. Voices rose. Pride flared. Ethan shouted, "You care more about winning than about family." David slammed the door and shot back, "At least I do something with my life." It was the last thing they ever said to each other. Time passed, as it always does. David's business grew. He built a name, a house, a life that looked successful from the outside. But no matter how high he climbed, there was always an emptiness beneath his victories. Every Christmas, he'd scroll through his contacts, stop at Ethan's name, and whisper, "Maybe next year." But next year never came. Their mother passed away in that silence, and at her funeral, the brothers stood on opposite sides of the casket, each waiting for the other to speak first. Neither did. When the priest said, "Let there be peace," both lowered their heads. But peace didn't come. 20 years later, on a cold winter morning, David was sitting in his office, surrounded by everything he'd once dreamed of, and yet he'd never felt poorer. Then the phone rang. A voice said, "Is this David Reynolds?" "Yes." "Your brother, Ethan. He's in the hospital. A heart attack. He's asking for you." The world seemed to stop. David's heart pounded as guilt and fear crashed together like thunder. He grabbed his coat and ran to his car. Snow fell thick on the highway. Each mile felt heavier than the last. His mind replayed every moment, the argument, the slammed door, the funeral. He whispered into the dark, "Please, God, just let me get there in time." At every red light, he tapped the steering wheel, a rhythm of regret. At every green light, his eyes filled with tears. He realized how strange life was, how we spend years avoiding the people we love, and then pray for one more minute with them. When he finally arrived, the nurse pointed him to room 312. Inside, Ethan lay still, tubes running across his body, his chest rising faintly with every breath. David's knees weakened. He sat beside the bed, took Ethan's hand, and whispered through tears, "Hey, little brother, it's me." The machines beeped softly in rhythm. "I was wrong, Ethan. All these years I let pride be my voice when love should have been. I thought success would make me happy, but every dream felt empty without you in it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything." For a long moment, there was only the sound of rain on the window. Then, slowly, Ethan's eyes opened. A faint, tired smile spread across his face. He said, "Took you long enough. David laughed through his tears. Yeah, I guess I was always late. Ethan squeezed his hand weakly and said, "You're here now. That's all that matters." Weeks later, Ethan recovered. When spring came, they returned to that old lake where everything had begun. 2 chairs, 1 thermos of coffee, and silence that finally felt peaceful. They didn't talk much. They didn't need to. Sometimes forgiveness doesn't need big speeches, just presence. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Ethan said softly, "You know, I think Mom would have liked this." David nodded. "Yeah, she probably made sure it happened." They laughed. Not the laughter of boys, but the laughter of men who had finally come home. Pride builds walls. Regret builds weight. But forgiveness builds bridges. Don't wait for time to remind you of what truly matters. Say sorry while the heart can still hear it. Say I love you before silence becomes your only listener. Because one day, you'll realize that the heaviest thing you can carry is the word you never said. This is Tales by Cathie, where timeless stories meet the soul. If this story stirred something in your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you love or someone you need to forgive. Because sometimes a single story can mend what silence has broken.